Hello everyone, I'm just going to give you a brief update in terms of where I visited today. So I headed from my hotel through to Porto Maravilha, and the first sightings on the port were of some particular luxurious yachts. So I took a few photographs around that area and then ventured through past the Naval Museum and past some of the military grounds, and then through to the Museum of Tomorrow. And at the Museum of Tomorrow I was able to speak to some small and micro traders to get their perspectives on how the Olympic Games had impacted their organisations. Some are relatively positive about some of the benefits that had been injected into Porto Maravilha in terms of how space had changed and in terms of tourists now visiting who weren't visiting before. Others were unhappy with the support they had received from the city government and the real lack of trust and faith in the government. So after I left, after I'd spoken to a few small traders, I ventured past the pier area and past a number of storage units and warehouses, which the large majority were unoccupied. I was able to have a look around a couple of the warehouses just to see what it was like inside, and I've taken a few pictures which I'll post onto Twitter and other social media outlets. But yeah, really there was lots of space inside these warehouses to house small businesses, to potentially have events, regular events. But yeah, there was a real lack of utilisation of these warehouses. So I headed out of these warehouses and had a look around sort of the final parts of the port area, going past Aqua Rio, which is one of the developments. It was built just after the Olympic Games had finished. So it's the new aquarium for that area. So I had headed up to go and see if I could speak to a manager or some senior members of staff at the aquarium. Once I left Aqua Rio, I then headed round to have a look at some of the other areas of Porto Maravilha, particularly to go and speak to CDURP, who are the urban development organisation in charge of regeneration of the ports. I wasn't able to speak to anybody from that organisation. I'm hoping to interview them before I leave, just to get a picture of what's happening with the port and what changes could take place over the next 2 to 5 to 10 years. So once I left there, I was able to have a look around at some of the other areas. There was a real mixture in terms of from large corporates to very much buildings that have fallen into disrepair. However, there was large numbers of graffiti and murals that were painted on the side of the buildings, which in fact were very impressive, and really the area could actually have more of those murals or pieces of artwork to, I suppose, attract other people to visit. So once I had finished sort of my observation around that particular area, I then ventured back home to the hotel to finalise some meetings that I've got planned for tomorrow, particularly with museums, as the museums were closed because it's a Monday. So I'm going to be visiting a few museums tomorrow in the Porto Maravilha area. So the Museum of Tomorrow will be one of the museums I'll be going to speak to, and a few other small businesses located in Porto Maravilha. But I'll keep you updated in terms of how those progress tomorrow. See ya.